Imagine, for a moment, that you are standing at the edge of a vast, unseen ocean. Its waves ripple not with water, but with whispers of a reality so strange, so elusive, that even the most brilliant minds struggle to grasp its true nature. This is the realm of quantum physics, a world where the familiar rules of existence seem to dissolve like mist under the morning sun. Here, in this mysterious domain, the very fabric of reality bends and shimmers, as though it were a dream half remembered. Upon waking, what does it mean to live in such a universe, where the boundaries of what is real and what is not blur into a quiet cosmic riddle? Picture a universe not of solid certainties, but of fleeting shadows and flickering possibilities. In this hidden world, particles, those tiniest building blocks of everything, dance in and out of being, as if playing a timeless game of hide and seek with existence itself. One moment they are here, a speck of matter we might call real. The next, they vanish, slipping through the cracks of what we thought we knew. It's an eerie beauty, isn't it? A silent symphony of the unseen, where the smallest fragments of reality seem to mock our desire for stability, for answers. What kind of universe allows such fleeting, ghostly behavior? Is it a place of chaos, or is there a deeper order we have yet to uncover, hidden just beyond the veil of our understanding? Consider, for a heartbeat, the implications of this strangeness. If the very foundation of our world is built on such uncertainty, what does that say about us, about the lives we lead, the truths we hold dear? We walk through our days believing in the solidity of the ground beneath our feet, in the predictability of cause and effect. Yet, beneath it all, at the smallest scales of existence, reality defies our deepest intuitions. It's as though the universe itself is whispering a secret we are not yet ready to hear. A secret about the nature of being, about the illusions we cling to in order to feel safe. Take a moment to reflect on this. How does it feel to know that the world you see, the world you touch, might be little more than a fragile illusion, resting on a foundation of mystery? Let's linger in this thought, allowing it to unfold like a quiet tide. Imagine these quantum whispers as a kind of cosmic poetry, written in a language we are only beginning to decipher. Long ago, philosophers and mystics pondered the nature of reality, gazing at the stars and wondering if the world was more than it seemed. Today, through the lens of science, we peer into the subatomic, and we find not answers, but questions. Questions that echo those ancient musings. Are we truly separate from the universe, or are we woven into its strange, flickering tapestry? Is reality a fixed truth, or is it something that shifts and changes, shaped by forces we cannot yet name? This is the beauty and the enigma of the quantum unknown. It invites us to step beyond the familiar, to embrace a kind of wonder that is both unsettling and serene. Think of it as a quiet forest at twilight, where every shadow might hold a secret, every rustle a story. In this realm, we are not conquerors of knowledge, but humble wanderers, tracing paths through a landscape that defies mapping. What might we discover if we let go of the need to control, to define, and simply listen to the whispers of this unseen world? Perhaps, in their faint murmur, there lies a truth about ourselves, a truth as elusive and profound as the particles that flicker in and out of being. So, as we rest here in this moment of quiet wonder, let the mystery of the quantum realm wash over you like a gentle breeze. There is no need to grasp it, no need to solve it. Simply be with it, as one might sit with an old friend whose silence speaks volumes. What does it mean to exist in a universe that plays by such strange rules? What does it mean to be human in a reality that seems to shimmer just out of reach? Let these questions linger, unanswered, as we drift deeper into the unknown, carried by the soft current of curiosity and awe. Imagine a quiet laboratory, late at night, where the hum of machinery fades into a profound stillness. In this unassuming space, a simple experiment unfolds, one that cracks open the very foundation of what we believe reality to be. It begins with a beam of light, or perhaps a stream of tiny particles, fired toward a barrier with two narrow slits carved into it. What happens next defies every instinct we've ever held about the world. Welcome to the strange and haunting realm of the double-slit experiment, a moment in scientific history where the universe seems to whisper a secret too vast, too unsettling to fully grasp. Picture this setup in your mind. A source emits particles, electrons perhaps, one by one, toward a wall with two slits. Beyond the slits lies a screen, waiting to capture where these particles land. If you were to close one slit, the particles would form a predictable pattern, a single band of impacts, as though they were tiny bullets shot straight through, open both slits. And logic would suggest two bands should appear, one for each path. But that's not what happens. Instead, something eerie emerges, an interference pattern, a series of light and dark stripes, as if the particles are behaving, not as solid objects, but as waves, overlapping and intertwining with themselves. It's as though each particle passes through both slits at once, splitting into a ghostly dance of possibilities before reuniting on the other side. But the true mystery, the one that sends a shiver down the spine of even the most stoic thinker, comes when we decide to watch. Place a detector at one of the slits to see which path the particle takes, and the pattern on the screen collapses. The interference vanishes. The particle behaves as if it knows it's being observed, choosing a single path, leaving behind two neat bands instead of a wave-like sprawl. It's almost as if the universe is shy, altering its behavior the moment we turn our gaze upon it. How can this be? How can the simple act of looking change the very nature of reality? Let that sink in for a moment. What does it mean for something to exist only in the way it does, because we've chosen to see it? Are we, in some unspoken way, complicit in the unfolding of the world around us? Take a moment to reflect on this. Imagine yourself standing in that dim laboratory, peering through the detector, and witnessing the universe shift under your scrutiny. Does reality have a mind of its own, or is it waiting for ours to give it shape? This peculiar phenomenon, known as wave-particle duality, reveals that the building blocks of existence, light, matter, the very stuff of the cosmos, refuse to be pinned down. They are neither fully particle nor fully wave, but somehow both, or neither, until the moment of observation forces a decision. It's as if the universe exists in a state of endless potential, a canvas of infinite sketches, and our act of looking is the brushstroke that renders one image real. But why? Why does consciousness, or even the mechanical eye of a detector, wield such power over the fabric of what is? Consider for a fleeting second the implications of this in your own life. How often do we assume the world is fixed, solid, predictable, only to find that our perspective, our attention, shifts everything? Perhaps like these elusive particles, reality itself is not a single, unchangeable truth, but a dance of possibilities shaped by the way we choose to engage with it. What if the act of noticing, of truly seeing, holds a quiet, transformative magic we've yet to understand? Now, let's drift deeper into this enigma. Imagine those particles again, fired one by one, each seemingly aware of the other slit, even when no companion travels beside it. It's as though each one carries within it a memory of both paths, a whisper of what could be, defying the boundaries of time and space as we know them. This experiment, first conducted over 2 centuries ago with light, and later with electrons and even molecules, stands as a monument to the unknown. It tells us that beneath the surface of our tidy, ordered world lies something far stranger, something that resists definition, something that seems to play by rules we cannot yet fathom. And so, we're left with a question that lingers like a shadow in the mind. Does reality exist independently of us, or does it only come into being when we dare to look? Is the universe a stage, complete and unchanging, or does it wait, breath held, for an audience to give it meaning? As you ponder this, Let the weight of the mystery settle over you like a soft, quiet fog. There are no easy answers here, only the gentle pull of wonder, drawing us to gaze a little longer, to question a little deeper, into the heart of a reality that might just be looking back. Imagine for a moment a bond so profound that it defies the very fabric of space and time, a connection so mysterious that two tiny fragments of the universe, though separated by unimaginable distances, remain tied together as if they are one. In the strange and silent world of quantum physics, this phenomenon is known as entanglement, a cosmic dance where separation seems to be nothing more than an illusion, a trick of perception in a reality far deeper than we can grasp. Picture two particles, born from the same fleeting moment of creation, perhaps in the heart of a distant star, or the chaos of a laboratory experiment. They are twins of a sort, their destinies intertwined from the instant they come into being. Now imagine them drifting apart, carried across vast expanses, one to the edge of a galaxy, the other to the quiet corner of our own small world. Miles, light years, entire realms of existence stretch between them, and yet, in some unfathomable way, they remain linked. If you touch one, measure its state, or whisper to it in the language of science, the other responds instantly, as though it felt the same breath, heard the same quiet call. No signal travels between them, no message crosses the void, and yet their unity endures, unbroken by the barriers we thought defined reality. This is the enigma of entanglement, a phenomenon that seems to mock our understanding of distance and individuality. It suggests a universe where everything might be connected at its core, where the idea of separateness is merely a story we tell ourselves to make sense of our solitary existence. What does it mean for two pieces of the cosmos to be so bound, to share a fate that transcends the limits of space? Could it be that beneath the surface of all we see, beneath the apparent chaos of life, there lies a hidden unity, a thread that weaves through every particle, every star, every fleeting thought? Take a moment to reflect on this. Imagine yourself as one of those particles, adrift in the vastness, yet never truly alone. What if every connection you've ever felt, every bond with another soul, every quiet moment of understanding was a faint echo of this cosmic entanglement? What if, in some way we cannot yet comprehend, we are all linked, our joys and sorrows resonating across distances we cannot measure? Let us linger on this thought for a while. Consider the ancient philosophies that speak of oneness, of a world where all is interconnected, where the self is but a ripple on the surface of a greater whole. The sages of old could not have known of quantum entanglement, yet their words seem to hum with the same quiet truth. In the East, the teachings of Buddhism whisper of interdependence, a web of existence where no single thing stands alone. In the West, the mystics of antiquity spoke of a divine unity, a spirit that binds all creation. Were they, in their own way, glimpsing the same mystery that science now uncovers in the subatomic realm? Or is this merely coincidence, a poetic overlap between the language of the heart and the language of the universe? Now let your mind wander deeper into the implications of this invisible thread. If two particles can remain entwined across the cosmos, what does this say about the nature of reality itself? Is the universe a vast, singular entity, its parts only seemingly divided by the illusions of space and time? Or are we, in our quest to understand, simply projecting our longing for connection onto the indifferent laws of physics? Perhaps the truth lies somewhere in between, a quiet reminder that the boundaries we draw, the walls we build between ourselves and the world, are not as solid as they seem. As we drift through this thought, let us imagine a universe where every atom, every speck of dust, every breath we take is part of an intricate tapestry of connection. In such a reality, no one is ever truly isolated, no moment ever truly lost. The laughter of a child on a distant shore, the sigh of a tree bending, in the wind, the quiet ache of a heart half a world away. Could they all be felt, in some hidden way, by the very fabric of existence? Entanglement whispers to us of such a possibility, a reality where the smallest touch reverberates through the infinite. Take a moment to reflect on this. Close your eyes if you wish, and feel the weight of your own presence in this vast, interconnected web. What connections in your life feel as unbreakable as those quantum bonds? What distances have you crossed, not in body, but in spirit, to remain tied to something or someone beyond the reach of time? Let these questions linger, like a soft echo in the stillness, as we rest in the mystery of a universe that seems, against all odds, to hold us together. What if the world you see, the reality you touch, only comes into being because you dared to look? Imagine for a moment that the fabric of existence hangs in a delicate balance, waiting for your gaze to weave its threads into something solid, something real. This is not the realm of dreams or fantasy, but a quiet, unsettling truth that emerges from the heart of quantum physics, a phenomenon known as the observer effect. Here, in this hidden corner of the universe, the act of measurement, the simple choice to observe, collapses a sea of infinite possibilities into a single, tangible outcome. And so, we must ask, are we merely witnesses to the unfolding of reality, or are we, in some silent, profound way, its creators? Let's linger on this thought as we step into a world where the rules we've come to trust seem to dissolve like mist at dawn. In the quantum realm, particles do not behave as we expect. They exist in a state of boundless potential, a whispering chorus of what could be, until the moment they are observed. Picture a dice hovering in mid-air, not yet rolled, holding within it every number at once, every outcome alive, trembling with possibility. But the instant you look, the dice falls, and only one face shows itself. This is the essence of the observer effect. The act of looking forces the universe to choose. It's as if reality is a shy dancer, only stepping into the light when it knows it is seen. Now consider what this means for us, for the way we move through our days. If observation shapes the very nature of existence at its smallest scale, could it be that our attention, our awareness, paints the broader canvas of life? Think of the moments you felt truly seen, by a friend, a lover, or even by yourself, in a quiet mirror. Did the world not seem to shift in those instants, as if your presence was enough to bring something new into being? There is a strange power in this idea, a quiet responsibility. If our gaze can collapse the infinite into the singular, what are we creating with every fleeting glance, with every thought we choose to hold? Take a moment to reflect on this. Let your mind wander to a memory, a time when you felt the weight of your own attention change the air around you. Perhaps it was a decision made in silence, a path chosen, a word spoken that altered everything. Could it be that, like the observer in the quantum experiment, you were shaping a reality in that very moment? Let's go deeper still. The observer effect is not just a quirk of subatomic particles. It whispers something ancient about the nature of consciousness itself. Philosophers and mystics have long pondered whether the world exists beyond our perception, whether a tree falling in an empty forest makes a sound if no one is there to hear it. Quantum physics seems to echo this riddle, suggesting that reality might indeed depend on an observer to bring it into focus. Imagine a universe as a vast, unwritten story, its pages blank until someone dares to read them. Are we then co-authors of this cosmic tale, our minds the quills that sketch its lines? Or are we merely mirrors, reflecting a truth that exists beyond us, waiting to be noticed? This mystery carries a gentle weight, doesn't it? It invites us to reconsider our place in the grand scheme of things, not as passive travelers through a fixed world, but as quiet participants in its unfolding. Picture yourself standing at the edge of a still lake, the water a perfect mirror of the sky above. When you cast a stone, ripples spread, altering the reflection, creating patterns where there were none. Is this not what observation does at the quantum level? Each act of attention, Each moment of awareness sends ripples through the fabric of what is, crafting a reality from the raw material of possibility. And yet, there is a humbling undertone to this power. For if we shape reality by observing it, what do we miss in the moments we look away? What infinite possibilities fade into the shadows, unchosen, unseen? There is a poignant beauty in this thought, a reminder that our perception, though mighty, is limited. We cannot look everywhere at once. We cannot hold every potential in our hands. So perhaps the observer effect is not just about creation, but about choice. It asks us to consider what we turn our eyes toward and what we leave in the quiet dark. Take a moment to reflect on this. Breathe deeply and let your thoughts drift to the things you've chosen to see today and those you've let slip by. What realities have you brought into being with your gaze? And what others have you left untouched, waiting in the realm of what might have been? As we sit with this idea, let's imagine a world where every glance is a brushstroke, every thought a note in an endless symphony. The observer effect suggests that we are woven into the very act of creation, not as distant gods, but as humble witnesses whose presence matters more than we might ever realize. There is a quiet magic in this, a sense that the universe, in all its vastness, might somehow need us to see it, to know it, to make it real. And so, as we ponder this strange and beautiful truth, we are left with a question that lingers like a whisper in the night. Are we merely watching the dance of existence, or are we, in ways we may never fully grasp, the ones who set its rhythm? Imagine, for a moment, a world where nothing is fixed, where every possibility lingers in the air like a whisper, waiting to be heard. A realm where the very fabric of existence hums with potential, a ghostly choir of what could be, suspended in a delicate balance. This is not a dream, nor a fantasy, but a glimpse into the heart of reality itself, a phenomenon known as superposition, where the smallest building blocks of the universe exist in all states at once, defying our every notion of what it means to simply be. What does it mean to live in a world so fluid, so unfixed, where the act of looking can collapse an ocean of possibilities into a single, fleeting truth? Let us wander into this strange and beautiful mystery together, with quiet curiosity as our guide. Picture a single particle, an electron perhaps, spinning through the vast emptiness of the quantum realm. It is not bound by the rules we know, not tethered to one path or one state. Instead, it dances across every possibility at once. Here and there, up and down, a shadow of infinite forms overlapping in a silent symphony. It is as if this tiny speck of existence holds within it every story that could ever unfold, a library of unwritten endings waiting for the turn of a page. There is something hauntingly poetic in this, isn't there? A reminder that beneath the surface of our seemingly solid world lies a reality that refuses to be pinned down, a canvas of endless potential painted in shades we cannot see. Take a moment to reflect on this. How often do we, too, carry within us a multitude of unchosen paths, dreams and decisions hovering just beyond reach? This ghostly state of superposition is not merely a quirk of the subatomic, but a profound challenge to how we understand the nature of choice and destiny. If a particle can exist as everything until it is forced to become something, what does this say about the moments in our own lives when we stand at a crossroads? Are we, in some unseen way, also suspended in a state of infinite possibility, our futures a chorus of whispers until the weight of a decision collapses them into one? Consider the beauty and the burden of this thought. Every choice we make, every step we take, might be the collapse of countless other lives we could have lived. And yet, there is a strange comfort in knowing that, at least for a fleeting instant, all those possibilities were real, shimmering in the quiet, before the world demanded an answer. Let us linger on this image for a while, the idea of a universe that holds every potential within its grasp, a reality where nothing is truly lost until it is chosen. It evokes a kind of wistful wonder, as if we are gazing into a mirror of our own existence, seeing reflected there the ghosts of roads not taken. Perhaps this is why superposition feels so deeply personal, even as it describes the behavior of particles far smaller than we can imagine. It whispers to us of a world where uncertainty is not a flaw, but a form of abundance, a reminder that life, at its core, is a tapestry woven from threads of what might have been. Could it be that our own sense of destiny is shaped by this same mysterious principle, that we are in some way participants in a grand act of becoming, where every moment holds the weight of infinite possibility? As we drift deeper into this thought, let us imagine ourselves as part of this quantum dance. Our lives a delicate interplay of choice and chance, of being and not being. There is no need to rush toward answers here, no urgency to define what cannot be defined. Instead, let the mystery of superposition wrap around you like a quiet fog, inviting you to wonder about the unseen layers of your own story. What possibilities still hum within you, waiting for the moment of observation to bring them into being? Take a moment to reflect on this, and let the weight of the question carry you gently into the unknown, where reality itself seems to breathe with the promise of what could be. Imagine a small, unassuming box sitting silently on a table in a dimly lit room. Inside, a mystery lingers, a cat caught in a state so strange, so unfathomable, that it defies the very fabric of what we believe to be real. This is no ordinary creature, nor is this an ordinary tale. This is the story of Schrödinger's cat, a thought experiment born from the mind of a physicist grappling with the bizarre truths of the quantum world. It is a parable that beckons us to the edge of understanding, where life and death, existence and nothingness blur into a single haunting question. Does reality depend on our willingness to see it? Let's step closer to this enigmatic box, though we cannot yet open it. In this imagined scenario, devised by Erwin Schrödinger in 1935, a cat is placed inside alongside a vial of deadly poison, a Geiger counter, and a radioactive atom. If the atom decays, a random event governed by the unpredictable laws of quantum mechanics, the counter triggers, the vial shatters, and the cat perishes. If the atom remains stable, the cat lives. But here's the twist, the unsettling heart of this experiment. Until the box is opened, until someone peers inside, the atom exists in a state of superposition, both decayed and not decayed at once. And so, the cat, tied to this quantum uncertainty, is both alive and dead, a ghost of two fates suspended in an impossible balance. Can you feel the weight of that paradox? A living being, caught in a liminal space, neither fully here nor fully gone, existing only as a superposition of possibilities. It's as if the universe itself holds its breath, waiting for a choice to be made, for a gaze to collapse the infinite into the singular. Schrödinger crafted this thought experiment not to torment us with cruelty, but to expose the absurdity, the sheer strangeness of quantum mechanics when applied to the world we know. In the subatomic realm, particles exist in multiple states, until observed, their nature fluid and undecided. But a cat, a creature of fur and breath and warmth, how can such a thing be both alive and dead? How can reality bend so far from what our senses, our instincts, tell us is true? Take a moment to reflect on this. Imagine yourself standing before that box, your hand hovering over the lid. What do you believe lies inside? Do you feel the pull of certainty, the urge to define the cat's fate with a single glance? Or do you hesitate, sensing that in this moment of uncertainty, something profound is at play, something that whispers of a reality far deeper, far stranger than we can grasp? This parable stretches beyond the confines of physics, reaching into the very essence of how we perceive our world. It asks us to consider whether existence itself is a matter of belief, a construct shaped by the act of observation. Are there aspects of our own lives, our choices, our fears, our dreams, that remain in a state of superposition, undecided until we dare to look upon them. Think of a decision you've yet to make, a path you've yet to choose. In that space of indecision, are there not countless versions of yourself, each living a different outcome, each waiting for the moment you collapse the possibilities into one? And what of the cat's perspective, if we can imagine such a thing? Does it sense its dual nature, its existence split between life and oblivion? Or is it blissfully unaware, caught in a reality that only we, the observers, impose upon it? This thought experiment nudges us toward an unsettling realization that perhaps we too are like that cat, suspended in the gaze of something greater, our own fates undecided until some cosmic observer chooses to see us. It's a humbling notion, one that strips away the illusion of control and leaves us standing before the vast unknown. As we linger here beside this unopened box, let's not rush to resolve the mystery. Let's sit with the discomfort, the wonder of not knowing. For in this space of uncertainty, there is a kind of poetry, a reminder that reality, at its core, may not be as solid as we pretend. Perhaps life itself is a delicate balance, a dance between what is and what could be, sustained by the questions we ask, rather than the answers we seek. So, for now, let the box remain closed. Let the cat exist in that impossible state. And let us, in our quiet contemplation, feel the tremor of a universe that refuses to be fully known. Imagine a world where the impossible becomes possible, where the solid and unyielding barriers that define our reality are nothing more than illusions, easily bypassed by the smallest of travelers. Picture a particle, no larger than a whisper, of existence approaching a wall that should stop it cold, a barrier of logic, of physics, of everything we've ever known to be true. And yet, in a quiet act of defiance, it slips through, as if the wall were mere mist, as if the rules that govern our world were written in sand, washed away by the tide of the unknown. This is the strange and wondrous phenomenon of quantum tunneling, a glimpse into a universe that laughs softly at our notions of impossibility. Let's journey deeper into this enigma, into a realm where the laws we cling to are bent and reshaped by forces we cannot see. In the world of quantum mechanics, particles like electrons and photons do not always behave as we expect. They are not bound by the rigid constraints of classical physics, where a ball thrown at a wall will bounce back, where matter is solid and predictable. Instead, these subatomic wanderers possess a kind of ghostly freedom. When faced with a barrier, a potential energy wall that should be insurmountable, they do not always turn back. Sometimes, with a probability that defies our intuition, they tunnel through, emerging on the other side as if by magic. It's as though they borrow a fleeting burst of energy from the universe itself, just enough to slip past the impossible before returning to their quiet, unassuming state. Consider for a moment the sheer audacity of this act. A particle, smaller than anything we can imagine, defies the very structure of reality. It does not break the wall, it does not climb over it, it simply passes through, as if the barrier were a suggestion rather than a rule. This isn't the stuff of fantasy, but a measurable, repeatable phenomenon, observed in laboratories and harnessed in the technology that quietly shapes our lives. Think of the flash memory in your devices, or the scanning tunneling microscopes that let us peer into the atomic world. Quantum tunneling is not a mere curiosity. It is a cornerstone of the subatomic realm, a reminder that the universe operates on principles far stranger than we can grasp. But let's pause and let this sink in. What does it mean to live in a world where impossibility is not absolute, where barriers can be traversed not by force, but by a kind of cosmic permission? Take a moment to reflect on this. Imagine the walls in your own life, those obstacles that seem impenetrable, those limits that feel as solid as stone. Could they too be more permeable than they appear? Might there be a way to slip through, not by breaking them down, but by finding a path that defies the expected? Let's wander further into the implications of this mystery, quantum tunneling. challenges our very understanding of what a barrier is. In our everyday experience, a wall is a wall, something to be overcome through effort, ingenuity, or sheer will. Yet, at the quantum level, barriers are probabilistic, not absolute. There is always a chance, however small, that what seems impossible can be achieved. This isn't just a scientific quirk, it's a philosophical whisper, a quiet invitation to reconsider the nature of limitation itself. What if the obstacles we face, both physical and existential, are not as fixed as we believe? What if the universe, in its deepest essence, is telling us that impossibility is merely a matter of perspective? Picture a mountain standing before you, its peak shrouded in mist, its slope steep and forbidding. By all accounts, it is a barrier, a challenge to be met with struggle and endurance. But what if, like a quantum particle, you could find a hidden path, not over or around, but through? Not by defying the mountain's existence, but by aligning with a reality where its solidity is less certain. This is the poetic allure of quantum tunneling. It suggests that the impossible may simply be a question of probability, a roll of the cosmic dice where the odds, though slim, are never truly zero. And so, let's linger here in this thought, in this quiet corner of the universe, where the impossible is made possible. Consider the barriers in your own journey, those walls of doubt, of fear, of circumstance. Could there be a way to tunnel through them, not with force, but with a kind of gentle persistence, a willingness to believe in the improbable? The universe, after all, does not always adhere to the rules we write for it. It hums with a strange and beautiful logic, one that allows even the smallest particle to pass through the unbreakable. Perhaps, in our own way, we too can find such paths, slipping past the impossible with a quiet, determined grace. Take a moment to reflect on this, letting the mystery of quantum tunneling weave its way into your thoughts as we rest in the wonder of a reality far stranger than we ever dared to dream. Imagine, for a moment, a world where the very act of seeking knowledge reveals an impenetrable veil, a boundary beyond which certainty slips through your fingers like sand. In this quiet corner of the universe, there exists a truth so profound, yet so elusive that it humbles even the greatest minds. We are drawn into the heart of a principle that whispers of limits, a concept born from the restless dance of the subatomic, Heisenberg's uncertainty principle. It tells us that the more precisely we try to pin down one aspect of a particle, such as its position, the more its other nature, like its momentum, becomes a ghostly blur. It is as though the universe itself guards its secrets, allowing us only fleeting glimpses, never the whole picture. Picture a child chasing fireflies on a summer night, reaching out to capture one only to find that in the moment of grasping, its light dims, its path veers unpredictably. So it is with the quantum world. The act of knowing disturbs the known, as if reality itself recoils from being fully understood. In 1927, Werner Heisenberg unveiled this principle, not as a flaw in our tools or our minds, but as a fundamental law of nature. It is not that our measurements are imperfect, it is that the universe does not permit absolute precision. There is a trade-off, a cosmic balance, where to know one thing with clarity is to surrender another to mystery. What does this mean for us, beings who crave certainty, who build our lives on the illusion of control? Consider the implications as they ripple outward. If even the smallest building blocks of existence evade our complete understanding, what hope do we have of grasping the vastness of the cosmos or even the depths of our own hearts? This principle instills a profound humility, a reminder that we are not the masters of truth but merely its seekers, wandering through a landscape of shadows and half-light. It challenges the very foundation of how we perceive reality, suggesting that the act of inquiry itself shapes what we find. Are we then forever bound to dance with uncertainty, to accept that some questions will remain unanswered, not because we lack the means, but because the universe itself deems it so? Take a moment to reflect on this. How often do we chase, after absolute answers in our own lives, seeking to know exactly where we stand or where we are headed, only to find that the harder we grasp, the more elusive clarity becomes. Perhaps there is a quiet wisdom in this uncertainty principle, a gentle nudge to loosen our grip, to embrace the unknown not as a foe, but as a companion on this journey. Let us linger here, in this space of not knowing, and imagine the particle at the heart of this mystery. A speck of existence so small it defies imagination, yet so pivotal that it reshapes our understanding of everything. Its position and momentum are locked in an eternal tug of war, each refusing to fully reveal itself while the other is in focus. It is as if the universe has drawn a line in the quantum sand saying, "This far and no further." And yet there is a strange beauty in this limitation, a poetic reminder that even in our quest for truth, there must be room for wonder. For if we could know all things with perfect certainty, would the mystery of life not fade, its magic dimmed by the harsh light of total understanding? This uncertainty weaves itself into the fabric of our existence, echoing in the way we navigate our own paths. How often do we find that the more we try to define ourselves in one way, our place, our purpose, the more other aspects of who we are slip into ambiguity? Perhaps the universe, in its quiet, enigmatic way, is teaching us that to live is to balance on the edge of the known and the unknown, to find peace in the realization that not all can be grasped, not all can be held. And so, we stand at this threshold, gazing into a reality that refuses to be fully unveiled, and we wonder, is the pursuit of truth not about capturing it, but about learning to dwell in its mystery? Take a moment to reflect on this. Let the weight of certainty lift from your shoulders, if only for now, and consider what it means to live in a world where even the smallest truths are tinged with shadow. In this quiet space, perhaps we can find not frustration, but a kind of solace, a recognition that the limits of knowing are not a barrier, but an invitation to marvel at the endless enigma of it all. Imagine a universe where the very fabric of space and time unravels, where the boundaries that define our world, distance, separation, the ticking of the clock, become nothing more than whispers in a vast, incomprehensible dream. What if the rules we cling to, the ones that ground us in the here and now, were mere illusions, fragile constructs of a mind trying to make sense of the infinite? Let us step into this enigmatic realm, a place where actions in one corner of existence ripple instantly to another, as if the cosmos itself is a single, unbroken thought. This is the mystery of quantum non-locality, a phenomenon that defies everything we thought we knew about the nature of reality. In the subatomic world, particles separated by unfathomable distances can influence one another in an instant, their states intertwined as though space itself is a myth. Picture two specks of stardust, born from the same cosmic event, now drifting apart, one nestled in the heart of a distant galaxy, the other orbiting a quiet, forgotten star. And yet, if you were to touch one, to alter its delicate spin, the other would feel it, respond to it, in the very same heartbeat. No signal travels between them, no message crosses the void. It is as if they are not two entities at all, but one, stretched across the expanse of the universe, bound by a connection deeper than we can grasp. This is not a mere curiosity of physics. It is a profound challenge to how we perceive our place in the grand tapestry of existence. We live our lives tethered to the idea of separation, between you and me, between here and there, between now and then. We build walls, draw lines, measure distances, as if these acts could anchor us in a world that feels solid and certain. But what if this separation is the true illusion? What if, at the deepest level of reality, everything is connected, a single, shimmering web where every tremble, every whisper echoes through all things? Take a moment to reflect on this. What does it mean to be a part if a partness itself is a trick of the mind? let us wander further into this thought. Imagine a time long before science uncovered these quantum riddles, when ancient philosophers gazed at the stars and wondered about the unity of all things. In the teachings of mystics across cultures, there is a recurring thread, an intuition that beneath the chaos of the world lies a hidden oneness. The Upanishads of ancient India spoke of Brahman, a boundless essence that permeates all, connecting every soul to the infinite. The Stoics of Greece mused on a cosmos governed by a single, rational order, where every event is woven into the same eternal design. Were they, in their own way, glimpsing the truth of non-locality, sensing a reality where separation dissolves into something far greater? Now, consider your own life through this lens. Every choice you make, every word you speak, every fleeting thought that crosses your mind, could these be ripples in a vast, unseen ocean, touching lives and places you will never know? If the universe is truly non-local, unbound by the constraints of space and time, then perhaps your smallest actions resonate beyond the horizon, interwoven with the fates of others in ways you cannot fathom. There is a quiet beauty in this idea, a sense of belonging to something immense, but also a subtle unease. Are we ever truly alone, or are we always, in some incomprehensible way, entangled with everything that is? Let this thought linger for a moment. Picture yourself as a single note in a cosmic symphony, played on an instrument that spans the entirety of existence. Your melody, however soft, however fleeting, harmonizes with countless others, creating a music that transcends the boundaries of the known. What does it mean to live in such a reality, where the illusion of distance fades, and all that remains is an unspoken unity? As we drift through this mystery, let us not seek answers, but rather embrace the wonder of the question itself. Quantum non-locality reminds us that the universe is not a collection of isolated fragments, but a dance of connections we are only beginning to perceive. Perhaps our sense of separation, the very thing that shapes our daily struggles and joys, is but a shadow cast by a light we cannot yet see. And in that shadow, there is room for awe, for curiosity, for a quiet surrender to the unknown. So, let us rest in this thought for a while. What if everything you are, everything you touch, is already part of a greater whole, whispering to the stars in a language beyond time? Imagine for a moment that every choice you've ever made, every fleeting decision, every path taken or left behind, did not simply vanish into the past. What if instead each one birthed a new reality, a separate world where another version of you continues to live out the consequences of what might have been? This is not the stuff of idle daydreams, but a haunting proposition from the heart of quantum physics, known as the many worlds interpretation. It suggests that the universe is not a single, linear story, but a vast branching tree of infinite realities, each one splitting off with every possibility that could ever be. Let that thought settle into the quiet corners of your mind as we wander into this strange and boundless idea, where the cosmos itself seems to hold a mirror to our deepest uncertainties. Picture yourself standing at a crossroads, not just once, but at every moment of your life. Each step, each word, each thought creates a divergence, a new branch in an endless forest of existence. In one world, you turned left instead of right on a rainy afternoon years ago, and that small act rippled into a life utterly unlike the one you know. In another, a conversation you hesitated to start unfolded into a connection that changed everything. The many worlds interpretation, first proposed by physicist Hugh Everett in the 1950s, takes the peculiar nature of quantum mechanics and stretches it into a vision of reality that defies our sense of singularity. At the quantum level, particles exist in a state of superposition, holding all possible states at once until they are observed, at which point they collapse into one. But what if they don't collapse? What if instead the universe itself splits, allowing every possibility to play out in its own separate realm? Consider the implications of this as you let your thoughts drift. Somewhere, in a reality parallel to this one, another version of you might be listening to these same words, yet living a life shaped by entirely different choices. Are they happier or burdened by regrets you've never known? Do they dream of the life you're living now, unaware that you too are real? This idea challenges the very notion of identity, for if countless versions of you exist, scattered across an infinite array of worlds, then who are you, truly? Are you the sum of your choices, or merely one iteration among many, a single note in a symphony of endless variations? Take a moment to reflect on this. Let your mind wander to a choice you made long ago, one that felt monumental or perhaps insignificant at the time. Imagine the world that might have been if you'd chosen differently. Does it feel distant, like a forgotten dream? Or does it linger close, as if you could almost reach out and touch it? The many worlds interpretation whispers that such a world might not be mere fantasy, but a reality as tangible as this one, existing just beyond the veil of our perception. Now, let's stretch this idea even further into the mysterious. If every decision spawns a new universe, then the cosmos must be an unimaginably vast tapestry, woven from threads of what could be. Scientists who embrace this theory suggest that these parallel universes are not just theoretical musings, but inevitable outcomes of the mathematics that govern quantum behavior. Yet, we cannot see or touch these other worlds. They remain hidden, separated by a barrier we cannot cross, locked away in dimensions beyond our grasp. Or are they? Some speculate that fleeting moments of déjà vu, or the strange sense of paths not taken, might be echoes of these other realities brushing against our own. Could it be that in quiet moments, when the world grows still, we sense the presence of these other selves, their lives whispering to us through the fabric of existence? Ponder this as the night deepens around you. What does it mean to live in a universe where every possibility is realized, where every version of you plays out its own story? Does it diminish the weight of your choices, knowing that somewhere another you has chosen differently? Or does it imbue each moment with a profound significance, as if you are crafting not just your life, but an entire reality with every breath? The many worlds interpretation does not offer answers, only questions. Questions that linger like shadows at the edge of thought, inviting us to wonder about the infinite nature of who we are. Let this idea rest with you now, like a quiet ripple in a still pond. Imagine countless worlds unfolding alongside this one, each a reflection of a choice, a chance, a fleeting thought. And as you drift in this sea of possibilities, ask yourself, if every version of you exists somewhere, what is it that ties them all together? Is there a thread of essence, a quiet core of being that remains unchanged across these infinite lives? Or are we, like the universe itself, endlessly fracturing, endlessly becoming, in a dance of realities too vast to ever fully know? Imagine for a moment a universe brimming with endless possibilities, a realm where every potential outcome of every fleeting instant hovers like a whisper in the air, waiting to be chosen. Beneath the surface of the reality we touch and see, there lies a delicate dance, a subtle unraveling of what could have been into what is. This is the quiet, enigmatic process of quantum decoherence, a moment where the boundless dreams of the cosmos collapse into a single, tangible thread of existence. What does it mean for a universe to choose one story over countless others? And how does this mirror the paths we tread in our own fragile lives? In the strange and shimmering world of quantum mechanics, there exists a state known as superposition, where particles hum with the potential of all things at once. A single electron might spin up and down simultaneously, or exist here and there in the same breath, as if refusing to be pinned down by the rigid rules of our everyday understanding. It's a ghostly choir of possibilities, each note vibrating with equal weight, holding within it every version of what might be. But this ethereal harmony cannot last forever. When a particle interacts with the vast, noisy environment around it, colliding with other particles, brushing against the chaos of the world, something profound happens. The symphony of possibilities fades, and one reality emerges from the mist, as though the universe itself has made a quiet decision. This process, known as decoherence, is not driven by human observation alone, though our gaze often plays a role in hastening it. It is the universe's own act of storytelling, a way of sifting through infinite drafts to settle on a single narrative. Imagine a vast library of unwritten books, each page filled with a different ending to the same tale. As the world turns, as particles mingle and intertwine, the library doors swing shut, and only one book is pulled from the shelf to be read aloud. The others, those alternate endings, those countless other worlds, slip into silence, their words dissolving into the ether. What becomes of these lost stories? Do they vanish entirely? Or do they linger somewhere beyond our reach, haunting the edges of what we call real? Take a moment to reflect on this. How often in our own lives do we stand at the crossroads of infinite possibilities, only to watch most of them fade as we step forward? Every choice we make, every path we follow, seems to collapse a universe of what-ifs into the singular now. The dreams we once held, the futures we imagined as children, the roads not taken. Do they disappear as completely as those quantum potentials, or do they too echo somewhere in the vastness of our being? There's a quiet melancholy in this, a sense of loss for the selves we might have been, for the lives we might have lived if only the world had turned a different way. Yet there's also a strange beauty in this act of becoming. Just as the universe, through decoherence, weaves a coherent reality from a tapestry of chaos, so too do we shape our lives from the raw material of possibility. Each decision, each interaction with the world around us, narrows the boundless into the specific, crafting a story that is uniquely ours. But what drives this narrowing? Is it mere chance that dictates which reality emerges, or is there a deeper force at play, a hidden hand guiding the collapse of what could be into what is? In the quantum realm, we cannot predict with certainty which path will be chosen, and perhaps in life too, we must surrender to the mystery of becoming, trusting that the story we live is the one meant to unfold. Consider the fragility of this process, how delicately balanced it all seems. In the quantum world, a single interaction, a brush with another particle, a whisper of energy can tip the scales, collapsing infinite potentials into one. So it is with us. A chance encounter, a fleeting word, a moment of courage or hesitation can alter the course of our existence, closing doors to countless other lives while opening a single, narrow path. There's a weight to this, a quiet awe in realizing how interconnected we are with the world, how every touch, every breath shapes the reality we inhabit. Are we then, not unlike those quantum particles, caught in a dance of interaction, forever, narrowing the vastness of what might be into the fleeting certainty of now? As we linger on this thought, let the mystery of it all settle over you like a soft, enveloping shadow. The universe, in its quiet act of decoherence, reminds us that reality is not a fixed and solid thing, but a process, a constant unfolding of choice and chance. And perhaps, in our own way, we mirror this cosmic dance, sifting through the endless possibilities of who we could be, letting most slip away to embrace the one we become. There's a peace in this, a gentle acceptance of the unknown as we drift along the singular thread of our story, woven from the fading whispers of what might have been. Take a moment to reflect on this and let the weight of endless possibility dissolve into the calm of what is. Imagine for a moment a hidden world within your own mind, a place where thoughts shimmer like fleeting sparks, dancing in a realm of pure possibility before they settle into the shape of an idea. What if the very essence of your consciousness, the quiet murmur of your inner self, was not merely a product of flesh and blood, but something woven into the deepest fabric of the universe? What if your awareness, the silent observer of your life, was a reflection of the same mysterious forces that govern the smallest particles of existence? Let us drift into this enigma, into the speculative realm where quantum mechanics and consciousness intertwine. Picture your mind as a vast, unseen ocean, its surface calm, yet beneath it swirl currents of uncertainty, waves of potential that collapse into clarity only when you choose to focus. In the strange world of quantum theory, particles exist in a state of superposition, holding every possible state at once until they are observed, as if reality itself waits for a witness to decide its form. Could it be that your thoughts, too, flicker in such a ghostly dance, hovering between countless possibilities until your attention pins them into place? Are the choices you make, the dreams you nurture, merely the collapse of infinite potentials into a single, fleeting truth? Consider the notion that consciousness itself might operate on quantum principles, a theory whispered by scientists and philosophers alike, though it remains cloaked in mystery. Some suggest that within the delicate structures of the brain, at scales so small they defy comprehension, quantum effects could play a role in how we perceive, how we feel, how we know. Imagine tiny tubules within your neurons, vibrating with the hum of the subatomic, where information flows not just as electrical impulses, but as something stranger, something tied to the very laws that govern the cosmos. It's as if your mind is a bridge between the tangible and the unknowable, a meeting point where the material world touches the infinite. Take a moment to reflect on this. What does it mean to think, to be aware, if your consciousness is not merely a bystander, but an active participant in the quantum weave of reality? Could every fleeting emotion, every half-formed thought, be a ripple in a larger field, connecting you to something far beyond yourself? Let's wander deeper into this thought. In quantum mechanics, there is a phenomenon called entanglement, where two particles, no matter how far apart, remain linked, their fates bound as if by an invisible thread. If consciousness truly dances with the quantum, might our minds also be entangled with the universe in ways we cannot yet grasp? Could the sense of wonder you feel when gazing at the stars, or the quiet ache of longing for something just out of reach, be echoes of a connection that transcends time and space? Perhaps we are not as separate as we believe, our inner worlds resonating with the same unseen forces that bind the cosmos together. Now, let this idea settle over you like a soft, enveloping mist. Picture your thoughts as particles themselves, flickering in and out of existence, uncertain until they are shaped by the act of your awareness. Every memory, every hope, every silent question you've ever held, could they be part of a greater pattern, a cosmic tapestry where the boundaries between mind and matter blur? What if the universe is not just something you observe, but something you are woven into, your consciousness a thread in an endless design? As you ponder this, let your mind drift, unhurried, into the vastness of such a possibility. There is no need for answers, only for the quiet space to wonder. What if the mystery of who you are is as boundless as the universe itself, a riddle written in the language of the quantum, waiting patiently to be felt, if not understood? Let this thought linger, a gentle whisper in the stillness, as you rest in the beauty of the unknown. Imagine for a moment that the steady ticking of a clock, the relentless march of seconds, minutes, and hours, is nothing more than a comforting illusion, a story we've crafted to anchor ourselves in a world that refuses to stand still. What if time, as we understand it, is not a river flowing in one direction, but a vast shimmering ocean where waves of past, present, and future crash and blend into one another without beginning or end? In the quiet, enigmatic realm of quantum physics, time reveals itself as a riddle, a fluid mystery that slips through the fingers of our understanding, leaving us to wonder if we've ever truly known it at all. In this strange subatomic world, the rules that govern our everyday lives seem to falter. Events at the quantum level do not always adhere to the strict causality we take for granted, the idea that a cause must precede its effect. Instead, there are hints, whispers in the equations. That time may not be the linear thread we imagine. Particles seem to interact in ways that defy the constraints of before and after, as if they exist in a timeless dance, unbound by the chronology we've imposed upon reality. Picture a moment where the past reaches out to touch the future, where, An event yet to happen ripples backward to shape what has already been. It's a notion that feels almost dreamlike, as if the universe itself is weaving a tapestry where every thread is connected, not in sequence, but in a boundless, eternal now. Consider the implications of such a reality. If time is not a straight line but a swirling, chaotic current, then what are we, caught in its flow? Are our memories, our plans, our very sense of progression merely illusions painted on the surface of something far deeper, something we cannot grasp? In quantum experiments, phenomena like delayed choice quantum eraser suggest that decisions made in the present can influence how we interpret the past, as if time itself bends to the will of observation. It's a thought that carries a quiet weight, a suggestion that the story of our lives might not be written in stone but in water, ever shifting, ever elusive. Take a moment to reflect on this. What does it mean to live in a world where time might not be the steadfast guide we've always trusted? Could it be that our regrets, our anticipations are tied to a construct that doesn't truly exist beyond our perception? Perhaps in the quantum realm, every moment is equally alive, equally present, a chorus of existence singing all at once, and we are merely listeners, tuned to a single note at a time. This fluidity of time challenges the very foundation of how we understand cause and effect, how we make sense of our choices. If the future can whisper to the past, if the present is a fragile bridge between the two, then are we ever truly in control of our path? Or are we, like particles in a quantum field, suspended in a state of infinite potential, where every possibility exists until the universe, or perhaps our own consciousness, chooses to collapse it into reality? It's a question that lingers in the quiet, a mystery that feels both unsettling and strangely freeing, as if we are invited to let go of the rigid structures we've built around time and simply be. And so, we are left to ponder this enigma in the stillness of our thoughts. Imagine a reality where yesterday, today, and tomorrow are not separate rooms in the house of existence, but windows looking out onto the same endless landscape. In such a world, time becomes less a master and more a companion, a gentle illusion we've crafted to navigate the chaos of being. What stories would we tell ourselves if we stepped outside this illusion, if only for a moment? What truths might we glimpse in a universe where time dances to a rhythm we cannot hear, but can only feel in the quiet spaces of wonder? Imagine a hidden harmony, a melody so subtle it weaves through the fabric of existence, unnoticed by the eye yet felt in the quiet corners of the mind. What if the smallest specks of matter and the grandest expanses of the cosmos were bound by the same unspoken rhythm, a dance of forces so intricate it eludes our grasp? Tonight, let us wander into the enigmatic realm of quantum gravity, a quest to unite the whispers of the subatomic with the thunderous chorus of the stars. It is a search for a truth that might bind all things, a theory that promises to reveal whether the universe itself hums a single eternal song. Picture the smallest particle, a fleeting spark of energy flickering in and out of being, so tiny it defies comprehension. Now imagine the vast curvature of space, where galaxies spiral in endless waltz, pulled by the invisible hand of gravity. These two worlds seem impossibly distant, one so minute it slips through our fingers, the other so immense it dwarfs our imagination. Yet, what if they are not separate at all? What if they are verses of the same poem, written in a language we are only beginning to decipher? Quantum gravity is the dream of reading this poem, of understanding how the rules governing the tiniest quanta might merge with the cosmic laws that sculpt the heavens. It is a pursuit that stretches the boundaries of thought, asking us to envision a reality where the infinitely small and the infinitely large are but reflections of one another. Consider the elegance of this idea, the notion that a single principle could tie the chaotic jitter of particles to the serene arc of planetary orbits. In the world of the quantum, particles defy our expectations, existing in multiple states, slipping through barriers as if walls were mere suggestions. Gravity, on the other hand, is the steady artist of the cosmos, carving paths for stars and holding the universe in a gentle embrace. How could these two forces, so seemingly at odds, share a common origin? Scientists have long sought this unification, crafting theories like string theory, where the universe is imagined as a symphony of vibrating threads, each note resonating across scales we cannot fathom. In this vision, gravity is not a force apart, but a vibration among many, woven into the very essence of reality. Take a moment to reflect on this. What would it mean to live in a universe where every force, every motion, is part of a singular, harmonious design? Yet this quest is not without its shadows. The path to quantum gravity is strewn with riddles, with equations that refuse to align and observations that slip through our grasp like mist. It is as if the universe guards this secret with a quiet smile, daring us to look deeper while knowing we may never fully understand. Some suggest that gravity itself might emerge from the entanglement of quantum states, a ghostly connection that knits space-time together from the smallest threads of existence. Others wonder if our very concept of space and time must be reimagined, dissolved into something more fundamental, a canvas beneath the canvas we perceive. What does this mean for us, beings caught between the vast and the minute, seeking meaning, in a world that might be both stranger and more unified than we dare to dream? As we ponder this unseen dance of forces, let us linger on the beauty of the search itself. Humanity has always reached for the stars, not just in body, but in mind, driven by a quiet hunger to know our place in the grand tapestry. Quantum gravity is more than a theory. It is a question whispered into the void. Does all of existence share a single heartbeat, a rhythm that pulses through every atom, every galaxy, every fleeting thought? Imagine for a moment that we are not separate from this dance, that our own lives, our choices, our very breath, are notes in this cosmic melody. How does it feel to be part of something so vast, so intricate, that even our greatest minds can only glimpse its outline? Take a moment to reflect on this. Let your thoughts drift to the idea of a universe bound by an unseen unity, where the smallest flicker and the mightiest force are one and the same. There is a peace in this mystery, a reminder that some truths are not meant to be held, only felt. As we rest in this quiet wonder, let the weight of the unknown become a gentle lullaby, carrying us deeper into the night, into dreams of a reality where all things, from the quarks to the quasars, dance as one.